What's up, you guys? Welcome to the first episode of Stub Stories. My name is Ricky Nelson. I will be taking you guys on a musical journey through my concert-going career. Page 1 is the time I saw Plus 44 at the Avalon in Boston, Massachusetts in 2006 with my buddy Nick Banner. So it's late October 2006. I'm on my way home from a Newfound Glory show in Boston. My dad calls. My dad used to work nights. One of the guys he worked with always won tickets through one of the local radio stations, whether it was WAAF, WBCN, WFNX. Didn't really matter. He always seemed to win tickets. He won tickets to go see Plus 44, who he had never heard of, didn't know, didn't care. Figured out I would want him, so he asked my dad. My dad called me, told me, asked me if I wanted tickets to some band, Plus 44, playing in Boston. So, of course, I said yes. I think they only had When Your Heart Stops Beating, I think was the only song out at the time. I don't even know if the full record was out or not. Actually, it probably was, but it must have just came out. So, of course, I say yes. It's me plus one. There's some acoustic show before this at some studio in Boston. So, a couple days go by. My name's on a list. I don't have like physical tickets yet. So my buddy Nick Banner, was in the Marines. He had joined right when he got out of high school. So he was in an extended boot camp down in North Carolina, South Carolina, wherever. Him and I are riding. He ends up getting home on, I want to say, either the 16th or the 17th of November. So we're talking on the phone and stuff. We're catching up because I haven't seen him in a couple months. I'm telling him, hey, I have this surprise on Sunday night. I want you to come with me. I wanted to do something cool for Nick. These tickets completely fell in my lap. So he's like, all right, cool. What are we doing? Can't tell him. Just, I'm going to pick you up. We're going into Boston. So I pick him up. We drive out there. We go to the First Act Guitar Studio, which I don't even think is open anymore. It was over on Boylston Street. We walk in. Turns out there was 25 winners. Everybody got plus one, so there's 50 people sitting in a couple of rows of seats for an acoustic show. I had no idea if we had tickets to the show that night at the Avalon, but I remember very distinctly, if we don't have tickets, we'll buy them, but we had no clue what the situation was. So, a couple minutes pass. All of a sudden, this door opens, and Plus 44 comes walking out. I think Mark Hoppus probably walked out first, then the two middle guys, and then Travis Barker. I remember Travis had a broken arm. So they get up there, they played maybe 4 songs acoustic. It was awesome. I couldn't believe I was sitting that close to two of my absolute heroes. They get done, they go and sit down over at these a little meet and greet table thing. Everybody gets up, gets in line to go over and meet everybody. You start with, I think Travis might have been first, then Craig and the other guy's name. Sorry, I can't remember your name. And then I think Mark was last. I know Mark and Travis were definitely sandwiching the two guys in the middle. Actually, Travis definitely was first. So we walk up, shake his hand. He signs our little cardboard cutout of the record. Introduce him, he does the same thing for Nick. And then, Nick's like, hey, this means a lot to me. Blink-182 is one of my favorite bands of all time. It's super awesome to meet you guys. I just got home from boot camp, literally 48 hours ago. So Travis is, super cool. Thank you for your service, the whole thing. So we asked him if there's still tickets available for the show that night at the Avalon. He wasn't sure. So he leans back to his bodyguard, whispers something into his ear, takes something out of his backpack, and hands it to him. We go down the line, we meet the other two guys, and we meet Mark, which was the coolest moment ever for me. Go over to the side table. There was a bunch of giveaway stuff for, I think I don't know if it was Volkswagen or I don't know, some car company sponsored it. Grab some free swag or whatever. And then as we're going to leave, Travis's bodyguard walks over and he's like, hey, Travis just wanted to say thanks again for your service. He really wanted you guys to have something. Hands us 2 tickets to the show that night. Pretty much blew our minds. So we walk out, call our parents, tell them we're not going to be home until way later. We're going to the show. We then go get dinner or whatever. at the time there was no, or at least I didn't have a GPS in my car. So it took us 2 hours to drive from Boylston Street, which is like a 10-minute walk from where the Avalon was, which is where the House of Blues is now. It took us 2 hours to drive there. I kept getting us lost. It was kind of a disaster. It probably was raining out, like the whole like typical story. But we eventually park. We get there. We go in. The show is amazing. I do not remember who opened. But Plus 44 played like probably like 10 or 11 songs. I'm pretty sure they covered an Agent Orange song, if I remember correctly. I don't know which one, but I do vaguely remember that. Travis played the entire show with a broken arm. So literally just one arm. This hand was up, just killing it as always. Broken arm, cigarette in his mouth for most of it. It was amazing. It was an absolutely amazing experience to be able to see Mark Hoppus and Travis Barker playing all these new songs, super fresh, super, not really sounding like Blink at the time, in a small place. I never got to see Blink up until that moment, so it was really cool to be in the same room as those guys. And it was really, really, really great to be able to to bring Nick to that, give him this really cool welcome home from Marine boot camp. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. So that's page 1. Cheers.